maybe it was just really well predicted.
Well, I mean, going
It's
to the
been
Ring of Fire
hinted
was
that we were going there. Like,
it's been a guess for a lot of people as well.
I think the current events were like, making their way over there or something.
It was in the same direction, but I was still, maybe we would go to, is it Sparkfly Fen or one of those maps around there that has like the Bloodstone Cave that we can't get to. I thought maybe he's gonna go there and try and take hold of the magic that's in that or something. That was my kind of prediction, but I wasn't expecting the
in some way. So if I guess it depends what's at the Ring of Fire, but in some ways it makes sense because the Ring of Fire is closer to where Mordremoth was. So when he dies and his magic goes out, it would definitely hit that island. If it went so far north as to hit the Bloodstone, then it definitely hits that island, right? And whatever's there.
So. And the egg too is fairly close by.
Yeah, the egg. Are we going to hear about that in episode 2? I doubt it.
Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe that's what kicks off the expansion is the egg hatches. And I don't know.
Wait that long.
See, then I heard people. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, that's cool. It's cool.
I've heard people saying like, well, if the expansion's going to be Primordus and it's going to be on the Fire Islands, that's not a big enough place for all the expansion to take place. Like, well, obviously the expansion's going to take place somewhere else. Like,
right.
But if it's about Primordus, where would it take place?
Well, here's the thing. Here's something that I was confused about. In Eye of the North, Primordus was responsible for the Asura coming to the surface, and they're mostly in Tarnished Coast. And then we fought the Great Destroyer, and the dwarves fought them like him and his minions like way up in the Shiver Peaks, and now it's like all the way down in the Ring of Fire. So like Primordus is friggin' everywhere. Like he's like,
and it started
he's
with,
like all of underground Tyria.
And that's the thing. It started with the whole Eye of the North starts with like the earthquakes right outside Lion's Arch as well, because you go down into the kind of chasm thing.
Yes.
And all that. So it is really spread out all over.
Yeah, so he could really be
Tyria,
anywhere.
so who knows?
And there are destroyers right now in Guild Wars 2 since the launch of the game, and I think they're mostly in Tarnished Coast. Aren't they? Or the Asuran areas? I think.
I don't know if there's. I don't know. There's obviously some. I'm thinking about Maelstrom just because of where the Great Destroyer is and all that kind of stuff. So, but I can't ever remember. There's some. I think in some kind of low down, undergroundy kind of areas. I don't know. I can't remember really where destroyers are.
Primordus himself really could be anywhere.
I think as soon as you dip down, to a certain level under the ground, you're probably going to find evidence of him.
Yeah.
And at one point, it's like, okay, so Mordremoth was like the jungle, and Primordus is now going to be like the whole of the underground is his thing.
I just worry about...
Especially because we had vines coming out underground, from
if that's a fight, and I don't know that Primordus will be a fight, because he's my favorite, I really worry about how you can deal with the size and scope of an actual dragon, because I don't really feel like we've done that to date. Zaitan felt unfinished, and the
closest we got
was
Shadow of the Dragon at the end of Season 2, I think was the closest that we've got to that kind of fighting a dragon, and you're on the ground fighting the dragon. And even then, it was like a little arena fight. It wasn't real.
But either way, that's not how we're going to fight an Elder Dragon. We literally can't. We need something like, an army of airships, or, Mordremoth wasn't even a dragon. He's this, he's kind of these manifestations. He is the jungle. We go into his mind. So, even when they, in Edge of Destiny, when they fought Kralkatorrik, they did mind tricks with him, like they went into his mind, and then they had, like, built up a defense. And so I don't see an Elder Dragon fight ever being us going in and swinging swords with Primordus or Jorme.
And I mean, yeah, okay, it makes sense. And they're supposed to be these huge things, but I just think it's I know there's obviously like limitations in like the game engine and stuff, and like realistically, how would you design a fight between you and something that big? And I get that, but after Zaitan's fight and Mordremoth's fight, I think with each time they try and do it, the kind of scale of these things that we're supposed to be fighting, like in my mind, just kind of gets smaller and smaller and less significant. And they can do something like maybe we're right there when Primordus like bursts out of the ground, but it would most likely be a cutscene. I want to see kind of like when you fight on like Claw Island and stuff, and Tequatl and the kind of world bosses where you're there. Sure, the fights are kind of simple, but I want like a kind of cutscene or some interaction between us and something massive, you know, even if it's just for like the first phase or something.
I don't know. Like,
I don't want to kind of, we're in his mind. Oh, if we destroy this thing he's using for energy instead, then maybe he'll die. And it feels like ways to go around actually fighting a dragon. And I know it's kind of impossible for them to design, but
I like what Nox said.
I feel like it's making it makes the dragons feel more insignificant, I think. Yeah,
because it's one instant. How we've done it is the dragons are like, you know, even though we've done things to weaken them, like throughout the story, we never like interact with the actual dragon until the very last moment of the very last instance, and then haha, he's dead. You know, in half an hour or whatever. Like what Nox is saying, people have suggested like an entire map is literally like the back of the dragon, and we're like on his body, and so as you progress throughout the map, you progress through the story, you're actually fighting the actual dragon. That would be really cool.
See, that sounds cool, and yeah, 100%. Even if it was like a long ass, even if they wanted to do it like an instance, you could still, and you maybe do this whole thing and you cut off its tail, right? And that's how it progresses to down on the ground. Maybe he's flying and you're doing stuff. And then it's like this kind of more arena thing because he's weak and he's just in this area. He's not moving very much, but you're still having to fight. And then you go to his head, and then maybe there's a whole phase there. To be honest, even something like the Lion's Arch attack, where this is big map-wide thing, you push it to this area, you're in kind of groups still, and then at the very last second for that final blow, it's in an instance for you. You know, where you got to Stomper. So you had it, they made it feel massive because the whole map was working together, and then the last second you still got that feeling of I did this, I killed Scarlet, because you get that final blow. Maybe there is a huge map-wide event that's open world, and it does progress like that, and then at the last second you deliver the final blow.
Right, and to be fair, I think they did a good job of that with Mordremoth. Because you have the Mouth of Mordremoth fight in the open world. It's this big, long, map-wide meta event, and then you have the instance where you actually like deal the finishing blow.
See, I still think, and I said this at launch, I think that I feel like the map event should have been a prereq for the actual final instance. It was cool chasing Fowlin through the map to get to the Helix and stuff, but I honestly think the final, if the Mouth of Mordremoth event had been part of the actual boss fight, it would have felt so much better. It's such a beautiful event. It's an actual spectacle to see this huge dragon thing, and
it is
like it would have been perfect. And then to go into the tower afterwards, and then get that final confrontation with the Mind, which is this last kind of shard of him. It would have been perfect. I think doing that, and it would have been a perfect balance between their obvious limitations and, you know, how big the dragons are supposed to be and stuff.
Yeah.
And delivering us a really good, strong mechanical fight. It's just, I think it's a shame that like the vast majority of players, I think, didn't experience that event before. So if they'd lock us out and I can't progress because I got to here first and I'm waiting for the rest of the players to catch up so I can do the map event. I get that. But even if they had done an instance of the same event, but it was just scaled down for you as one player or something, it wouldn't have been as good, but it still would have stretched it.
It's tough because you look at the Tooth of Jormag, and that gives you a size and a scope of how big Jormag is, and I don't know. He's so large, right? So large. How can you implement that into the game? Like Zaitan feels like such a small Elder Dragon compared to the others.
Small. Yeah.
And Mordremoth was so large that we didn't actually get to see what he really looked like because he's everywhere.
Apart from that trailer, but yeah,
you know, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, they're so large. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Even in the book Destiny's Edge, when they describe Kralkatorrik, he's basically this rolling storm that goes through, and Glint, who is not even close to his size, has to sort of fight him and put that crown on him, whatever the heck it was exactly, so that they could fight him. They can mentally fight him
Go into his brain,
because there just was no other way to do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so tough.
And this is honestly why I think it would be really beneficial to everyone, player base and ArenaNet. If they stray from this, we have to kill all the dragon storyline. If there's a different direction they can take it, so they're not. Maybe we can encounter them through like an avatar of Kralkatorrik. If we somehow purify them of the spell or grant them
this
this
egg
kind of
is
cleansing.
for.
Something like that. I feel like that would be a way better direction. If we can have some interaction that's not, obviously having to design a boss fight around it, it would bring the story into a cooler place and actually still give us that sense of scale as, that we can apply to them without having this kind of complicated balancing act of practical, actual mechanics and delivering this kind of sense of scale. It's honestly really tricky, and I have no idea. If I was a dev, or if I was designing this stuff, I would have no idea what to do at all. And honestly, the Mordremoth fight is like the best fight in the game. It's so well designed and stuff. You have to, in my mind, I had to pair it up with the meta beforehand to give it that kind of grand scale that I kind of wished for.
I actually had to have my audience tell me that the Mouth of Mordremoth fight was like the outside, what's going on outside. It's actually happening simultaneously as the final instance. Like, because I didn't get that from the story. I didn't understand that. I didn't do the meta event. I just went through. That was my first priority, was doing the story. I just got through enough of the map so that I could, do the final instance.
Yeah.
So. But here's a question for future. Let's say that the story does veer away from killing dragons, and it goes into either we have to put the dragons to sleep, or we have to suppress the magic, or if we go the Mersat route, who knows? If there wasn't the big epic dragon battle, what would be a satisfactory conclusion to an expansion? Because right now, the personal story ends with this big dragon fight. The Heart of Thorns, the expansion, ends with this big dragon fight. Season 1 ended with bringing down Scarlet, bringing down the big bad. Season 2 didn't, because it did have the Shadow of the Dragon fight.
We still got the Stomp a Dragon.
And we still got the Stomp a Dragon. Yeah, I didn't feel as much satisfaction from stomping the Shadow of the Dragon as I did from Scarlet, personally.
I agree. I didn't, because we'd had this year, and some people loved her character, and it was this really big, profound moment in the story. Other people hated her character, so it was like, yes, I'm gonna fucking stomp her, right? Cool. But there was this one moment in the Shadow of the Dragon thing. It's when you've done the kind of main mechanic and you're walking over to him to stomp him, and you hear the kind of breathing noises, and that kind of, it's almost like a groaning because it's obviously weak, and that gave me like, oh my god, like this is this gigantic creature. Like it gave me that, like I really kind of believed it, because of the noises and that kind of, and I was like, man, if this is this big, how big's Mordremoth gonna be? And he's a potato, whatever. But it was really like, it gave me that really strong, like, my god, this is like an actual gigantic creature, and it was a really cool feeling. Obviously Scarlet was more of an emotional drive, stomp her dead. As much as I liked it, it was all part of the kind of quick story kind of stuff. But it was just a really nice kind of quiet. I felt really sorry for the Shadow of the Dragon, I really did, and especially because, my main's a Sylvari, and you start the game that way, with fighting the Shadow of the Dragon in the dream. So it was like this really big. I was like, oh my god. It was really cool.
He spoke to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we can have big villains like Scarlet with Lazarus. As far as the dragons go, I think we're going to be, fighting their lieutenants is the closest we're going to get to those sort of epic kind of fights. Even if you do let's say a raid encounter dragon fight, which they're not going to do, right? The story needs to be open to everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
But even if they put some sort of raid encounter mechanics or the difficulty of a raid boss into the dragon, you still would get like what sort of many other MMOs have done in the past, where you get like half a boss. You get to fight like his upper body basically, because he's too big to fit on the damn screen basically. And I don't know, the story is starting to involve a lot of other moving pieces, not just the dragons anymore. So this idea that we can move away from the dragons themselves is rather exciting. And I hope that's the direction they go, because I don't really think you can do the dragons proper justice in...
No.
Well, I just don't know how that can be done. Hopefully they'll get proven wrong. But even when I've fought, let's say, large dragons in other games,
it's just,
I don't know.
In games in general, it's such a hard thing
tough.
to pull off.
It's really tough.
Noxicon said as well, like, it's not a thing that can realistically stretch out, just at this kind of pace. And doing, like, I think as well, even after Heart of Thorns, people are they kind of rinse and repeat. I mean, obviously, Heart of Thorns was completely different to the personal story, but they both ended with killing a dragon, right? And I think people are kind of wanting the story to stray, just in general. The problem with it is the dragons have been established for even before launch with the novel and stuff, like, as this huge threat, this kind of world-changing thing. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say Shadow of the Colossus, actually. Dude, if I can climb a dragon, and that'd be amazing. But yeah, like, if they were to go a different route, they would kind of, like, are we just ignoring the fact that these things are huge, gigantic threats? Or like, we obviously have to deal with them somehow. And I hope that's not just as rushed and simple as, oh, well, we'll cast a spell and then they'll just be nice dragons.
Well,
like, and if they are, then are they friendly to every creature on Tyria? Even though there are evil,
but right now they're not evil Mwahaha dragons. So they're forces of nature. So turning them good.
You gotta feed them.
So, but then how do we counter that then? And that's the thing. I don't want just a rushed solution to it.
Gotta feed them magic.
No, I don't think it's going to be a solution. I think that the dragons are always going to be a thing. Although, for what is it, 10,000 years? Like, they go to sleep, like they're dormant. So
yeah,
this
I suppose
is just
if we can trigger
awake,
another, if we can end the cycle somehow.
Right, prematurely end the cycle before they come and just wreak havoc. We want to put them back to sleep, ideally. But now that we've killed 2 of them, what happens to all the excess magic? And that's what we're starting to see, is sad anomalies popping up, and there's anomalies, and now we've got the Bloodstone and Mersat, so... Yeah. I like that they're adding in these other storylines, not just,
100%.
All right, Primordus is rising, let's go get him.
There's a lot of nice threads going on at the moment.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And I think Season 3 is on the route to become, like, the best story that we've had in the game since launch. Like, it's a lot of layers to it, and just everything's up to this brand new level that's just amazing. It takes Season 2 and just goes that step beyond it. I don't know how they're going to solve this dragon crisis, but I think the game does kind of need it, because I think, like, the kind of political side, the kind of tensions between races, there's more the idea of going to a new region when there's still dragons threatening Tyria is just, we're not going to go to Kantha, are we, if there's dragons threatening where we're from, right? It's just not going to happen. It lets them branch out and open up to more, to different things if the dragon problem is solved. I think the only way would be to induce another sleep cycle or something. But we'll see.
Give them some
but then that doesn't solve the magic problem either that much, because they release it while they're sleeping. So
slowly, though.
The egg again is a dragon that we can create into another elder dragon to soak up that excess
but then
magic.
He's gonna soak up 2 elder dragons worth of of magic,
right?
Which could be a whole other thing.
corrupt
And if
them.
they are forces of nature, are they forces of nature because that's just what they were born as, or is it because of the magic that makes them kind of transcend any kind of... We're seeing magic turning people mad now. If, at that kind of scale, it could just turn you into this blind hurricane type thing. You lose that sense of personality and reason and stuff. So there's no telling whether this is even a safe thing to do anyway. Maybe Timey will study a bloodstone and create a bloodstone that doesn't require souls and just absorbs magic, and then it's just, okay, we have this thing that's it's owned by like the Pact or the Alliance of all the races, and it's just... But then it'll be, oh, Dragon wakes up and comes for it to try and take it because I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm really excited to see where this is going because I feel like they are starting to turn the story into a direction that's kind of gonna explore more like different things and different layers and stuff.
Yeah, going back to Guild Wars 1 stuff.
So
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that. Go back to Guild Wars 1 stuff, and they've been doing that. Excuse me, they've been doing that more and more. I mean, we've even been seeing Guild Wars 1 skins in the gem store like a lot more often than we used to.
Now we're going to the area.
All right, Inks.
In the gem store.
Gem store rant, go.
Yeah.
In the gem
No, I don't have any rant for the gem store. Do your thing. It's fine. It's fine. We're getting a new weapon set in the game.
Yeah.
So
even though one of the sites called it like a circus weapon set.
A circus set. It's gonna be my giraffe sword.
Little monkey.
You know, I even when I made my video, I even said like the circus set worries me just a tiny bit because I think for whatever reason the circus I think of like the lion tamer with like the stool and a whip. I don't want a focus that's a stool and something that's a whip. And I don't even. It just
like, seems a really.
And you go to the Ring of Fire in order to get this weapon set. Like it just doesn't.
I really hope that they're not ugly.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not that.
Silly.
But it's like, yeah, a silly set. You know.
I wanted
I mean?
some cool like Ring of Fire style stuff. You know, like I mean, I know we have the kind of destroyer weapons, which honestly fit the theme perfectly.
Clown armor, yes, exactly. I can finally roleplay as the clown that I am.
Yeah, totally.
A big red nose and my stool shield and my whip sword and
Perfect.
Yeah, the circus set is perfect for the clown fiesta. Absolutely.
The new shoulder piece is gonna be like a clown, like fluffy, like neck piece.
The kind of neck thing. No, please. See, I want a cool. I hope the armor pieces at least are, you know, super cool.
I don't know.
And
head pieces don't excite me. Because most of them hide my hair.
The crown that we got though from Bloodstone Fan?
I don't like it for my characters, but I have seen other characters with it that looks really, really good. Yeah.
It works really well with the Chronomancer shoulders, the kind of spiky ones are like that.
Yeah. Yeah, when I see it on other characters and they have it all like dyed and matched to their armor, I'm like, oh, like I notice it because it's really high. Like the spikes go up really tall, and I'm always like, wow, you look really cool.
Can you imagine a clown outfit in the gem store on my Asura? Would be ridiculous.
Oh my god!
I just want to see it.
All these creepy little clowns running around Tyria.
Oh god!
I want to see a Char with clown shoes on. That'd be amazing.
The toes will just be cut off and the claw will be there. Well, humans will look like Ronald McDonald. Yeah, fantastic. The Asura will be all the creepy little clowns from It. Sharp little teeth running around.
Oh my god.
Colorful hair and giant red noses. Yeah, that won't be creepy at all.
No,
it'll be fine.
No. You will not
It'll
get
finally give me
my
a reason to
money
use my clown sickle. Pop up and shear
things. Oh god. Yeah,
I'm surprised. No. Nightmare for someone afraid of clowns.
Please,
yeah, they won't be able to log into the game.
That could be a good Halloween outfit, actually.
Halloween stuff. I'm excited. I'm so excited this year.
I'm honestly really excited.
Multiple games. I'm like waiting for like, what are they gonna do for Halloween? I'm so excited.
It's just because the weather's kind of starting to turn here, and I'm getting that really autumn vibe, and it's starting to rain often, and I'm like, I want to get cozy, dude.
It went back to 90 degrees. It's like,
yeah, it did do that here too. It's really, really hot here this week, but like,
be more autumn. Stop being summer.
Yes, please.
I'm so excited for winter. But Winter's Day, I'm hyped. I hope we get another Night Fury and Winter's Day present.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I mean, they might just recycle and reactivate it or something.
I haven't made the last two.
Well, they will reactivate it. I mean, for people who couldn't get them last year, for sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
well, maybe not.
I hope there's a new one. No, because there's people who have like been working on it. I guarantee you that have like don't have like, oh, I didn't get the jumping puzzle done 3 times, you know, but I've drank all my drinks and so I'm ready this year. All I need to do is the jumping puzzle, and if they don't bring it back, that's just a kick in the face.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
yeah. I wanted to add more stuff. Maybe a similar thing.
Yeah, I would love another one to
play effect or something.
Yeah. I want sparkly things for my character.
It took me so long to do the Winter's Day. You said you haven't done it yet, Inks? Have you the Winter's Day one?
You're close, aren't you, Inks?
I need 5,000 drinks.
5,000 drinks.
It's not exactly close.
I
was so excited because I thought you only needed 5,000 drinks.
Oh.
And it's 10,000.
And I was like 500 away.
Oh,
so like
no.
I saved up a bunch of gold, and I bought close to 500 drinks. So I'm like, I just want to finish it now.
Because was it like 8 silver a drink?
And then I don't know what it is. But then it ticked over and it was like, no, you need 5,000 more. And I was like, no. 5,000 more. Jeez.
I mean, that's a lot. Yeah, it's 10 silver for the cider anyway. That's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, something new like that I like that kind of, and Halloween as well. They had the kind of color things that dropped a couple years ago. That there was a really rare drop. I like that kind of super rare drop from. I know you don't like trick or treat bags, thanks. Yeah. You'll be hyped to get back into.
I just like something to work towards. Like they were like a collection that you had to complete, and it was really fun to work towards that and like slowly tick off the boxes, even though there was a giant paywall with the drinks. But
yeah, I mean it was just gold.
Yeah, it was something to work towards, and it's really satisfying when you complete it. So and you got something cool to show off for it. So I hope there's something else like that for.
I actually think that 5,000 drinks probably would have been enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a while to do 5,000, like 10,000.
Yeah, I think 10 was too much. I think it should have been 5.
Night Fury, the big block on that one for me is the endless tonic.
The tonic, yep.
I think that's it for everyone. Is like
it's the main lockout thing. It's a cool skin, but I mean. It was just, I mean, it's what, like 2,000 gold to buy or something, and I don't know how, I don't even know if you can't get it unless you got like the bat wings back then, I don't think. Unless you can buy them on the trading post, I'm not sure.
Yeah, all that stuff is trade postable.
Right. But now it's just like player
it's nice to have those items, it's
oh
nice
yeah, for sure, it's like a little,
and it's cool.
Thing. Hopefully we get
I hope we get a little bit of story for Halloween. It's been a little while since we've had
it'd be nice.
Mad King something.
Hey, we got Drubert's Ghost last year.
I mean, yeah.
You had to give him more stuff. He keeps asking even after he's dead. For more stuff.
He doesn't even have anywhere to put it. He's a ghost.
They've been doing a lot more.
Him stuff.
But it's
cool.
They've
been doing a lot more auras recently, especially with Heart of Thorns. There's some super rare ones there, but maybe like an aura that's kind of like the like a slot-in item, like they've been doing them more recently. Maybe like a like the ghostly one, but maybe it makes you look like more like a ghost or something spooky for Halloween, So you could have like Night Fury, and then every year you could stack a new thing, and you could have this super Halloween character that's like got the bats flying around and like looks like a ghost, and that'd be really cool. I guess I just don't want it to be like an exact repeat of last year. I don't really mind. It's part of the atmosphere. I don't really mind if it's the same, but it would be cool to have some new stuff there.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot of it will be the same stuff, but it's
nice
when they add
rewards.
Yeah,
but it still feels
give you
nice,
new rewards or Maybe they add one new little thing or something for you to do.
It's like a rare drop.
Most MMOs are like that when they have holidays and stuff. The holiday is generally repeatable every year.
Yeah.
Like you said, the rewards change, but.
I mean, I was even impressed with last year. I mean, Halloween was right when the expansion came out, and there was a surprising amount of new weapon skins and auras. I was very surprised at how much they
ghost
put out.
pups that you could buy for candy corn cobs.
Yep.
After I don't even remember the count anymore. Literally hundreds of thousands of trick or treat bags.
It's
hundreds
okay, man.
Of thousands.
Now you have a story to tell. That's the real treasure. But yeah, I hope the labyrinth will probably come back with the kind of main Mad King instance. I want that old kind of, what's it called, the from like the first or second Halloween or something, that was that like arena thing.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of it. That to come back, that'd be cool. I want just to shake it up a little bit, and people were asking for it last year too. So can't remember what it was called.
So all that stuff is good. So we're gonna get a patch in September, and then like mid-October we'll get Halloween. Late October, whatever, we'll get Halloween.
Yeah.
So that'll keep. I think it's a good time of year for ArenaNet because the players will have stuff to do in game.
Yeah.
On what will probably be a more consistent basis, right?
Yeah, and actually, this puts, with the 2 to 3 month release cadence, this puts Halloween right in the middle of, like, in between the release of the 2 episodes. So that's really, really good, because Halloween will keep everybody busy. Either maybe late November, very, very early December, hopefully, we'll get the next episode. And then, that'll keep us busy for a week, and then Winter's Day.
Unless they push it till next year, but
I don't think they will.
You don't think episode 3 will get pushed to next year?
No, because that puts it over 3 months, or actual 3 months. I think. I don't know.
Honestly, I think no, you're not wrong.
Because then it's 3 this year.
October, November, December. That would push it over 3 months. I don't think they would do that, even with the holidays.
We'll get it November, December. We should get it November, December.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, if I was right in thinking 6 episodes, then we would have.
Man, if it comes out in December.
3 this year, 3 next year.
It's gonna be brutal for me.
Yeah.
Tough.
Oh yeah, because you.
December is such a. Yeah, I travel a lot in December.
Yeah.
It's a rough month for me.
I remember that last year.
But you know what? I'm such a minority. I'm one person, so go ahead and release it. It's fine.
I honestly think it would be November, to be honest, because we had
so too.
July, August was empty, then September, and then I reckon October will be empty, but then November will happen, and then so the November makes sense and kind of how it's been going so far.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Then like January at the end.
Am I a Santa Claus impersonator? Yep. I travel around to different malls around the U.S. and
he is Santa Claus.
I'm slightly bad Santa. They made a movie about me. I lose the beard too. Yes, the magic. I lose the magic.
Yeah. Even though November would be 2 months, I think November too.
They said 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then it ends next year in May or no, June or something. I don't know. At some point next year it ends, and then we have a big reveal, and then maybe that October expansion 2 comes out or something. And that'll be 2 years after Heart of Thorns, and gives them kind of time.
Yeah, I think it's got to be end of next year for the expansion.
Announcement in January. Better book your PAX South tickets.
I don't know. Do you think they would announce it that early again? Announce in January and then not release until end of October?
I think they'll announce at the end of whenever the season ends, to be honest. I think it plays into the story better, and it's a big thing. I know they want to do promotion stuff. That's the only reason I think they might announce it earlier. Would be for the sake of promoting it to people who don't play the game.
It should be interesting because I don't think there's going to be quite as large a gap between the end of Season 3 or the end of Season X, because who knows, and the next expansion, whenever that takes place.
I agree.
There will be a gap.
Obviously,
there's going to be a gap there, but it'll be much smaller than before. I think they learned their lesson from how things went this past year and a half or so.
Yeah.
PAX East or West. Could be a PAX East announcement. That's usually like
PAX East.
March.
Yeah, I could see that's March. In the
April.
Again though, do you see? Season 2 we didn't even know that an expansion was even something they were working on until the very end of Season 2. And then even then it was just a name. We didn't even know it was an expansion until PAX South.
I remember Alex making all those jokes about how Heartthorns could be a new PvP map or something. But...
It was a new novel. Yeah, so, but then we had all that time. So this could get announced, because we already know they're working on it. So, I mean, the name, the announcement could be even announced, I think is going to be announced in the middle of the Living World, rather than at the end.
It's really tough, because whenever you announce the expansion, players, you're going to give it a name, obviously.
Right.
Whatever. Frozen Thorns. I don't know. I'm terrible with names. We'll use Wood and Potato's name, Cogs of War, cow. Players are going to want to know what it's about. Like, sure, you're going to rattle off features. Like, you're going to get this and this and this. And that's really great to talk about without spoiling the story. Yeah. But, like, we knew we were going to fight Mordremoth in the jungle, right?
Yeah, that's the problem with an early announcement. Is it
if Season 3 doesn't end yet, and they announce the expansion because they want to lessen that downtime, which they should.
Yeah.
You can't really talk about the story because you haven't finished the season yet, right? It's interesting, but it puts them in a tough spot.
I know I know the gap between the announcement and release was kind of difficult, but it didn't really feel that way to me. I know there wasn't much to do in the game, and maybe at the time I probably wouldn't have said this. But for us, at least, there was a lot of news, and I think for a lot of the player base, the news was enough. They knew it was worth the time because they were in development, and they needed that time to focus on it or something. And we were getting announcements fairly regularly. So while the content drop from earlier this year was just kind of an absence of anything. No new, and I think that would be a lot harder. But I think it's just bad practice for them to have 10 months of nothing, then a release, and then 10 months of nothing after that release again.
Well,
it's a bad cycle to have, and if they can bridge that gap, it'd be great. But it's kind of having this. We want to announce it and talk about stuff and new features and show gameplay to get people hyped and interested in it, and maybe get some new players in. But going about that in a way when you're still halfway into Living World is just kind of impossible.
And Mo has said before that he feels like they're now in a situation where that downtime can be greatly diminished. They've done a ton of restructuring in those last 10 months. They clearly know that there were downtime issues, and they don't want that to happen again for the next expansion. So there's going to be an overlap. I believe there will be an overlap when they announce it to when the season ends, which means whatever they show us is going to have to be things that don't spoil where the direction of the story goes.
Right.
But I think even a map location or the kind of environment that we might see in an announcement trailer or something would...
I think we're more likely to see elite specializations or new masteries, rather than the actual location, but at the time that they announce it's already very clear where we're going.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's an idea. But I think it's something like an elite spec or a mastery, unless it was something big like gliding was, or like a guild hall or that kind of thing isn't gonna really get new players particularly interested. They don't know the core classes, so an elite spec isn't really gonna matter as much to them as something like gameplay with this huge boss or a story trailer that's really cinematic and gets people interested in what it's about. So it's a really hard balance. I think maybe if there's only 5 episodes this season or 6 episodes this season, and they're gonna get gradually longer, or the map, because we can already kind of assume that the maps are gonna get bigger, or are at least getting bigger between this common episode and the last the last one. I don't know, maybe they'll cut down the number a bit and they'll just expand on what we have, and then they can announce it June or something, and then release in November or something, or December, and that's still, be real, it's enough time for a marketing campaign, in that time to advertise. There's a lot of competition around, the holidays and whatever, but it would still give them enough time, but it's not going to be as drastic, I don't think. And if there's stuff like PvP seasons and current events potentially, it's not going to be it's not going to feel like a huge 10-month gap like we had from January to October or whatever before Heart of Thorns.
And in the first 4 years of this game, they've really been constantly laying all this groundwork. And Heart of Thorns, one of the reasons it took so long was that they were creating the mastery system. They were creating the elite spec system. They were creating all these systems. I mean, we didn't even have, CC. We didn't even have the break bars before Heart of Thorns. I mean, so they were creating all these new systems, and I think they're finally starting to get to a point where they kind of have established what kind of systems they want in their game. So now instead of creating new ones, which they are still doing, but they're kind of sprinkled in here and there rather than boom, here's all these new systems, which is what Heart of Thorns brought us. I think the next expansion is not going to bring us all of these brand new systems. It's going to expand on the ones we already have.
It doesn't need to. Now they've got, it's like they have the framework, and now they can drop the content, and almost it can be almost entirely focused on that. Yeah. So that'd be cool.
They don't need to create leyline gliding, 6 steps to gliding with each Living World episode. They're like, no, okay, now we have a different kind of new Hawkwallow. We still have leyline gliding and updrafts, and it gives time for old players to build up.
Well, they're not having to create a whole system for horizontal progression, that must have taken so much time and to implement and to test and all this junk. I mean, that's a huge step that now they don't have to think about. They can basically just design a thing and implement it, because the systems are in place there to accommodate that. And the fact that they can add them in these episodes means that it is kind of, they can just kind of drop them in when they need to and stuff like that, which is really good. It's going to make it a lot easier. And I think the next expansion will definitely be way more content heavy, just because there's so much groundwork already done.
Yeah. Yeah, ASIC, I don't think, and we talked about this earlier, I don't think that the Renown Hearts are going to be exactly the same as in the core maps. They're going to be different. I honestly don't even think they're going to be called the same thing. I think they're going to be like Renown Hearts. I think it's going to be a different kind of daily system, is what I think it's going to be.
Interesting. And they moved away. They moved away from Hearts for some time because players, generally speaking, weren't overly thrilled with them. There are a number of Hearts that can be rather annoying to do, or don't necessarily offer a lot of options. But I think the feedback that they have had since then, especially when you get to the higher level maps, the level 80 maps, because it's more about the events that happen, especially in Aurora, which I don't think worked 100% the way they wanted, but then they tried to refine that with Dry Top and with some of the Heart of Thorns maps, and some of the feedback that they seem to have gotten was that players want at least a little bit more of that questy heart type system, so we'll have to see how this works. We'll have to see how this, how it incorporates into the map. For obviously this will be a level 80, end game type of map, and we'll have to see how the repeatability works and how much replayability that adds to the map, because that's really important.
Yes.
What's interesting here is that this could be our the first kind of glimpse at what the new maps in an expansion could be like. you know, people wanted new hearts in an expansion that kind of chilled, more explorative, like, kind of setup. And if this goes well and it's a cool system that lets you have that kind of smaller experience in the map with little stories here and there, that are repeatable, that'd be a really cool way to pad out some of the maps that they add in a future expansion. And maybe this is them. Because I mean, I don't think it's gonna be hearts. I don't think it's gonna be a little heart icon. I might be wrong, but
I think it will be
a new
system.
system.
Hearts. It might be slightly different heart or a different color or something maybe. But will they increase the level cap? Absolutely not. They can't.
No.
They can't increase the level cap for a lot of reasons. One of them being that you would have to then raise. You wouldn't have to raise the armor and weapon cap, but you probably would. And that would create a whole other host of problems. They're not going to.
Yeah, would they add another tier of gear, or would they just increase the?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They did state once that
have
if
to
you
add
have
the recipes
a legendary, it would always be the max. Even if the
level.
max was ever raised, the legendary would always be the max. I don't know if they said the same thing about Ascended.
No,
I don't
they said
think
that
so,
because
but-
Ascended was coming in, I think. Because Ascended was raising it, they were saying all the legendaries would then be
Legendaries would raise to Ascended, and so thus it would always be max. Right.
They got such harsh criticism for bringing Ascended into the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was
That raising the level cap and
Yeah.
adding another tier of gear,
Yeah,
that
so
will go
no.
well.
It's the whole point
It's
of
not
the
gonna-
mastery system is so that they don't have to raise the level
Right.
cap, but that you can
Yeah.
make progression on your entire account. The mastery system is so brilliant. So and yes, even with every new Living World episode, they are adding a new mastery. So absolutely, there's new mastery abilities.
I
It's
don't
just
know that
cool.
the
'cause
mastery
it's-
system. I don't know that the mastery system works the way it's supposed to necessarily, but yeah, that's definitely the progression system for.
It's
in-game
gonna.
characters.
I think over time it's gonna be. How much can they really add? You know, at every expansion, it's not just gonna turn into a clone, and eventually feel like, oh, I've already got this mastery. It's just called something different in a different map or something, and I have to grind for it again or something. But I like the idea of it just because it's more meaningful than just raising a level, you know. Oh, I'm level 90 now. It doesn't feel amazing, but the fact that I can glide, I mean, that's amazing.
I mean, for those who's saying that they don't like hearts or they don't like the idea of repeatable hearts, don't do them. Don't repeat them.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they're repeatable. Make a
you
new
know.
character. You can do them all over again.
don't get me wrong. I understand that some people don't like the hearts. They find them too tedious or boring or whatever. You're going to get mixed reactions on that. Some people are going to like them. Some people are not going to like them. If you don't like hearts, then do it once because you want to do the completion, and then don't repeat it. My guess would be that they're going to give you a reason that you want to repeat them, but we need more information, and I'm sure we're going to get that in the next week or so.
Yeah.
But right now it's a
not
lot of
just
speculation.
Yeah, it's some kind of map currency. I think Nox, you said that as well. Yeah, maybe some map currency or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't want to do hearts more than once. I guess it depends what the heart involves. There's certainly some hearts that I would not want to repeat all the time.
Oh yeah.
But then there's other hearts that I actually do like and enjoy, and believe me, I have done world completion way too many times. But there's still a couple of hearts that I really enjoyed regardless. But you have to grind to get the reward. I mean,
if they're daily, you can't grind them. You know, you're just doing a thing every day.
Yeah.
the ground mount system.
If you do them once a day, they're a daily. That's simple as that. Do you like?
It's not
do
really
you
a
call
grind.
going into Bloodstone Fen and doing your gliding skills and your rift events and your Justisar kill, like, is that grindy? If I think
Yes.
then okay, it's just going to be the new dailies. And I really think it's going to encourage. It's just going to encourage people to go all over the map because you can't do your dailies in one corner of the map. They want people to be spread out throughout the map. So if you have to go to the far corner to do your one daily because the NPC's there, then, that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. I miss monthlies.
Monthlies, man, yeah.
But you know what? I realize that this is a very tiny percentage problem. It's a good thing they added gold to the daily rewards. I'm capped on AP for dailies and monthlies.
Yeah.
Which is fine. The whole giving you AP for doing dailies and monthlies I thought was kind of silly. But I really would not even do dailies if it wasn't for 2 gold.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm kind of okay with. Take the 2 gold away. I don't even need to do them anymore.
I'd probably still do the PvP ones because of the reward.
Right.
I
would do the ones depending on the rewards I want. So like the PvP is worth it because I'm still doing those tracks, or the very few times I go into World vs. World, which I admit is not very often. I do try to do, when I'm in World vs. World, I do try to do something with those World vs. World dailies to progress those tracks as well, right? But I don't know. I would hate for them to spend too much time like re-hauling daily and monthly systems again and again and again.
No, not at all.
But
and they'd have to adjust so much just because the game's very different now.
Variety,
Power Creek and stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
I just like
better
that
than
kind of.
but
I was shocked they added the 2 gold reward to dailies.
And that's huge.
I was
shocked. I think they have to.
But it's a great incentive. It's a great incentive. I do them way more now than I used to.
Economy-wise, like I don't know how impactful 2 gold is or isn't. I
mean, I remember getting 2 gold
that.
when I first started playing.
Right.
But, like it was this big thing. But obviously, inflation and blah blah blah, the economy and junk. But like, I don't know, 2 gold is it's a big reward.
I mean, it's why I still do dailies. Otherwise, like I said, I would do a couple, but I wouldn't do 3 or 4, whatever it is. I would do whatever it is. I like, for example, I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to like go get a Vista if that was a daily, because I don't care.
Plus the little writs of experience and stuff that you get is just, I don't know.
As a veteran, for newer players, they're fantastic, by the way. If you're a brand new player,
for sure.
Should definitely be doing the dailies. It's a great way to get experience. It's a great way to get those rewards associated with it. As a veteran player, I'm that's the perspective I'm talking from, and the system means a little bit less.
I think the PvP ones are it's the most rewarding out of all of the daily rewards, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just...
It is.
You're basically just getting champ bags, It's like a really simple... Unless
achievement chests are nice. The whole achievement system, I don't know. There's a lot
of achievements that... I mean, 90% of achievements aren't...
There's a lot of achievements that aren't really achievements, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. And this is coming from somebody who has a lot of useless achievements in the game.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Like, I think I randomly completed my achievement for, like, 5,000 spear kills the other day. So random. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not really an achievement, killing something with a spear.
There's a lot of those weapon master ones I still don't have, actually.
There's a couple.
I remember grinding one of them out because I was kind of close. By kind of close, it was like 70 of them or something. So I just stood there waiting for, like, I don't know what it was, griffins maybe or something, or killing stuff with a hammer or something.
Yeah, Atomic, I'm the same way. Like, I've been better at it in recent months than I have been the entire past year. But, like, I use the writs and stuff to level up the key farmer just to get my key for the... because I don't want to level up to level 10 every week.
Oh yeah.
No thanks.
I have so many tomes and stuff like.
Yeah, I use my tomes and my scrolls and my writs for my key farm now.
Yeah. What race do you guys pick for key? Is human still the fastest?
Yeah, human commoner.
I've actually been trying to get people to answer that. I haven't been able to find anyone who can tell me like the current min-max
key farm
way to do it as fast as possible with the best gear. Because as silly as this sounds, I am seriously considering going out of my way to get one of those what are they called? In Guild Wars 2, the weapons that like level with your character.
Oh yeah. The
yeah.
bloodbound weapons, I think they are.
You need like 300 or 250 or 200 of the provisioner tokens, which is ridiculously expensive.
What?
But like that would be like the best weapon to have, right? For your key farmer, wouldn't it?
Right.
Or just, I don't know,
Bloodbound. Noxie says bloodbound.
Yeah,
there you
bloodbound.
go. So like I would totally that is, and it sounds silly, but that's something I would totally do and work for, would be to gear out my min key farmer.
But how long would it take to break even though? Like,
right, it's like
considering
you
the
already
RNG
go to
of
level
beasts,
10 to do a level 1 to 10 story. So like I've never understood the gearing out your key farmer. Like, just freaking do it. It's not like it's hard.
I can go around one-shotting things like I used to.
Yeah. See, I use a lot of the scrolls, like the level 20 ones or level 30 ones I have, just because I don't care. I have enough tomes to level them up to 80, whatever. I don't mind.
Right.
And it just lets me one-shot everything, and I just zoom through it really quick.
See, I could see where the gear used to be a lot more important, because you didn't have to get to level 10 to do up to your level 10 story. So you were doing that level 10 story at a level 2. So, having the max food and having the max gear for your level 2 character was very important. Yeah. But now it's not so much.
You just
see, Keeper has the same idea I do. Keeper says that his key farmer is geared out, and he can do a key run in like 18 minutes. That's what I'm talking about.
So you're saving 10 minutes a week?
Yeah,
I mean, that's important to some people, so
it was
okay.
And it was also important when it was repeatable, though. When it wasn't limited to once a week, the time was a big factor. But now, like, you may as well just take your time and spend that extra 10 minutes.
No, I don't want to do it in the first place.
Okay,
I really don't want to do it in the first place.
I have got... Obi and Ion Dragon have been going back and forth about the heart quests, and Obi is saying how boring heart quests are, and how these new heart quests, unless they have some really cool story behind them, are going to be super boring, because heart quests are just go and pick 10 apples and bring them back. Okay, then if we get these, if these are indeed heart quest like things in the new map, and if they're repeatable daily, then that's a daily system. They're gonna have more story than in the upper right hand corner where it says go mine 6 things in Ascalon. That's 0 story, absolutely 0. So while it might not be the most compelling story in the world, it's gonna be talking to an NPC and having them tell you to do something. No, it may be boring, it may not be interesting, but it's gonna be more of a story than go use 5 of your leyline skills every day.
Yep.
So, I'm not saying it's not going to be.
No, you're perfectly right. And I mean, the map's going to have events as well, so it's just an extra thing that they didn't really need to do. There are, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And maybe they are going to have amazing story, dude.
We really need to see the hearts in action. I'm not sure that I really believe there's going to be amazing story there. No. There might be a little bit of flavor or something lore-wise, maybe a little bit, but some people just don't like hearts. That's fine. I mean, you don't
that's fine.
Have to like hearts. You'll either not do it because you don't care about the rewards, or people will do it even though they don't like it because they want the rewards. The dailies are boring. I mean, all that stuff is boring. That's fine, but then don't do it.
Obi, there might be only 3 hearts quests on the map. Because it says that there's heart quests, it doesn't mean there's going to be 15 of them, like a normal map. I don't think that at all. I think there's going to be 3 or 4, just like a daily.
And I guarantee the fact that they're repeatable means they're not going to be part of the kind of map completion for this new map either. I really don't think that.
No.
Just like there weren't any in any of the Hard Thorns ones, Silverwaste, Dry Top, blah, blah, blah.
I truly do not think these are going to be heart quests at all. I think that's just I think they probably said heart quest like. We're going to return back to the NPC telling you what to do system. I really don't think it's even going to be a heart on the map. I don't.
When was the last map? We've never had a map.
We've never had
to the game since launch that's had a heart quest.
I really don't think that's what it's going to be.
And I don't think they're going to add the same thing. And I definitely don't think, especially if they're repeatable, that they're going to be required for map completion in that map either. There'll probably be an achievement associated with each one. You know, like make sure you've done all the little quests or whatever. But there's nothing that's gonna make you do it more than once, and it's just gonna be a little, you know, like do this once, and if you enjoy it, cool. Do it more times if you want.
Right.
If not, then you've done it for the achievement, and that's it.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I didn't even think about the possibility that they're repeatable, therefore they won't be part of map completion. But you could absolutely be right about that.
Mm-hmm.
But events are all repeatable.
I mean,
as well, you know, it's just
it definitely doesn't make them more interesting. I mean,
right,
dynamic events aren't more interesting because they're repeatable. I'm just like, oh, Justice Sire, Ghost of Justice Sire, whoever is up again. He's back. Let's kill him again from a daily.
It does make them more replayable, though.
Yes.
And
whether you enjoy replaying it or not will be subjective to each user, each player. That'll be a subjective thing whether you like replaying those hearts or not. My hope is that they're enjoyably repeatable, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And 90% of that factor, I think, comes down to the rewards as well that are in place there. I mean, normal hearts are crap because it's XP and karma when you can get way more from doing events. You know, like, so it's there purely to act as a thing to complete for map completion. That's all hearts are there for.
Your Ring of Fire equivalent of the Blood Ruby. You'll get a Fire Ruby, you know, and you need 200 Fire Rubies to get the Ember Bay back piece. You know, I think it's going to be the same
something like
system.
that, exactly. I don't think it's going to be like the traditional ones which were there literally to pad out map completion, basically.
Yeah.
Keeper has an interesting idea that the repeatable heart quests might not offer the same quest every day. So
I think they will.
To take that a step further, what about... So hearts usually have multiple ways of completing them.
Yeah.
They usually give you 2 or 3 different options. What if the way to complete that heart changes to one of 3 things, like, every day?
That could be.
So, like, today we fill water buckets, tomorrow we kill dragons, the next day we sew pants. Those all sound really boring, I know, but that's the best I can come up with off the top of my head.
That'd be cool.
That's a good point, because I've heard criticism that the Bloodstone Fen dailies are the exact same thing every day, and it's the same as the general Corteria dailies. They rotate every day. No, it's not the most exciting things, but it does rotate. It's not the same thing every single day. So that's true. These could
one of
change
my
every
issues
day.
with Bloodstone Fen is the fact that it's the same 4 things every day. I gather magic, I do some somersaults in the air, I kill Hableon, and then I run around looking for rifts. While getting more bloodstone, basically.
Yeah.
There's no variety there, really. Will you get tired of those hearts even if they're like that? Yeah, eventually you will. I mean, it's just no way around that. But it does add I do think it does add replayability. Hopefully that replayability is enjoyable. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just about getting a key, bunch of keys in one day.
Episode 6 of season 2. It rewards a black lion key at the end of it.
Every time?
Yep. You just do it on a different character, so it's limited to how many characters you.
On different characters. Okay. I did not know that.
Is it a fast episode? Because
I'll try to remember.
They say 15 to 20 minutes if you know what you're doing.
It's the one with
what's
the
Tangled
labyrinth.
Paths? Oh, the labyrinth?
It's the one with the labyrinth and where Keith steals the egg. I think it's that one.
So you have to watch Keith steal the egg over and over and over.
Yeah.
No!
I hate you, Kate.
What hell is this?
That's why people want to skip those cutscenes.
Oh, jeez.
You have to go through the maze and find people and all that junk.
But
yeah.
No, I don't need a key that bad.
I'll do my weekly key farm. But I had no idea. I did not know that. That seems so random.
I don't know how fast you can... And it's obviously bound... It depends on how many characters you have on your account and character slots. And I suppose you could delete one and make one again instant to level 80 if you have enough tomes and just blast through it over and over and over again.
Sure,
but
you'd have to progress.
It's only once per character ever?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, then I've already done all that. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
Every character completes the story.
Okay.
I have a couple that are missing a couple places, but generally speaking.
Oh my gosh, Inks, you're such a completionist.
I can't have them not complete. It bugs me.
I have 22 characters, and I think my main is the only one that's ever completed the personal story.
That is why I don't have 22 characters.
I've done the personal story 3 times. That's it.
They're all at various stages of the personal story.
I don't know, I've not bothered. I actually still have an achievement for, like, the char step where you choose the order that I don't have because I've never gotten that far in a char.
Right.
I've always deleted him before that point.
I don't think I've done that either. I don't have all the story steps and stuff.
I have completed the personal story. You at the end of the personal story, you get a weapon. What is the weapon? A packed weapon?
Yeah,
not the Black Lion set, but you get a packed weapon.
Yeah.
I've completed it enough to have all of those weapons.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I mean, it's not bad. Like it's to be honest, I would happily play through the whole thing again now because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be quite cool to see it and get into it again and you know, take the paths I haven't, because I've only done it 3 times. There's a lot I haven't seen, you know, considering how many races there are.
And I've done it a lot of times, and I don't even remember the part of the story. I don't even remember. It's terrible. But and then core Tyria map completion. 22. I've got 24 of those things, so that's 12. I've done core Tyria map completion 12 times. That's way too much.
I think I've only done it twice, actually.
Wow. Once.
I know people who have done it like 20-something times. I'm like,
well, some people really like it. Like, it's a really cool. And to be fair, every time I've done it twice, and each time it's been. There's come a point where I've enjoyed it for about 60% of it. It's been like really nice walking around and seeing all this stuff, and look, there's Colleen's grave, and it's all like really wow, all this stuff, and you get like really immersed. I think now actually with like first person mode, like we actually have that now, like that'd be really cool. It'd be a cool experience to do again. But then it's like the last section of it where you're close but not close enough to just finish it in one day, and you can't be bothered, and it's a grind, and it's really difficult.
Cookie has done world completion
59 times.
Cookie's a machine, so
that's insane.
He's like outside of the statistics.
That's crazy.
Sure.
That's really, really fucking crazy. And I mean, I'm so glad you don't have to do World v World now as well. Remember that?
Yeah.
Do world completion.
Yeah.
I've actually been really bad with the Heart of Thorns maps. I have like 3 characters, maybe. No. I have 3 characters with 100% hot map completion, and then a couple others have like various stages that I just can't be bothered to go back through the hot maps. I will eventually, but yuck.
I've done it. I think twice maybe on all of them. I don't really need to do it more than that though.
Well, how many legendaries are
for Heart of Thorns? 3, yeah.
So I have enough to make 1 of each legendary right now.
Wait,
not that I plan to.
There's 4 now. There's 4 now.
Yeah. So I need to do 1 more. I need to do Tangled Depths and Tangled Depths and Arga Basin like 1 more time each to finish the last one. Not that I plan on making those anytime soon, but just to have them.
I mean, I've had the precursor for Nevermore for like 6 months, and it's just been this grind I don't really want to start. But now I'm actually progressing really nicely.
Wait, you don't have Nevermore yet? I thought you had that.
I've had the precursor for ages, but it was I need to amalgamate gemstones, and this was before they added them as a drop and all this other junk. So it was like 3 gold for 1, and I need 250 of them to make the crystalline ore and all this junk. It's just like. But now I'm like, all I need now is like the mats, the T6 mats, basically.
Dude, that's your staff, dude. Get it.
I know it was made for me. It wasn't actually, but I like to dream. But yeah, now it's been so long since I did the collection and felt that gold sink that I'm kind of ready to make another one now. And I kind of want to go for Astralaria, but I already have a legendary axe. Why would I go for another one? So it's...
Nothing will be better than Frostfang.
But I have 2 underwater precursors ready to go. I have the Chosen and everything except for the mats for the Chosen. I have the back piece from PvP and everything except for the mats for that. And now I have Nevermore, which is just mats as well. So it's really all I need is just mats and mats. And it's just this kind of big grind. And, you know, that's a bunch. But it's
I'm at the same place. The 2 back pieces, it's just tier 6 stuff, mostly. Some clovers, I think. But...
So I've got a lot of stuff I could be doing, but I just can't really bring myself.
Right, yeah.
There you go, just make Frostfang again.
See, I was tempted, actually. Because I made it before the legendary system, and I kind of wanted to go through the story of it.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know which one I would...
So I'm tempted to do
that. I should probably make Quip again, but I really don't want to make Quip again. Like, I don't want 2 Quips. So, Twice Told Legend is probably far away from me, unfortunately.
You could... yeah. I wonder what the cheapest... I wonder if the cheapest legendary you could make twice for, like, the same price as the most expensive. I mean, obviously, ignoring Eternity, just because it's...
I don't know, I think there's just certain ones, like 2 daggers, 2 pistols, 2 swords, maybe.
Part of me feels like the offhand should have less T6 required, just because they're offhand. But then the minstrel would be like 10 gold or something. And I have the minstrel.
It should be.
I know, it's horrible. But I made it just because it's music, and I used focus a lot of the time, so...
Yeah.
I like how it sounds like Windows 98 when you draw it, though. It's cool. It's got a nice little noise.
Nauticon made 2 Twilights. Like, I guess I could... It's so dirty to me. I could make a legendary and then sell it.
Yeah. And then make something you wanted. But then you wouldn't get the achievement, would you? Because it's unbinding.
Oh, that's right. You gotta bind it.
Oh.
That's right. I forgot about that.
What you could do, though, is make...
that makes sense.
Nah, I mean, you could get around it by making, like, Twilight, then making another Twilight, and then making Sunrise. So then you would get it, because you bind it. Then combine Twilight and Sunrise to make Eternity, and then sell that. But that's 3 legendaries you're having to make.
Right.
Because you unlock the skins for both of them.
I was really tempted, Craig, to try and get the Bloodstone weapon, Black Lion weapon collection. I just like 90% of that collection. There's only a couple that I really am not, that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think I have. I want to say I have 5 of the weapons. That's still far away from completing the collection, but
if you have loads of gold,
maybe eventually.
They're a really good way to make more gold. If you buy all of the current set, you get 7 tickets, which you can then use.
I would just hoard
to buy other skins or whatever.
I just can't ever see me spending 7 tickets on one, even if it's an older weapon, like that's really rare. I just can't see me spending 7 tickets on one weapon. Like I completed a whole collection of 13 weapons or whatever it is to buy one weapon.
I would never buy the skins for any reason other than selling them.
Ugh.
If I could spend those 7 tickets and make like a crap load of profit, then I would definitely.
Oh, Nazi had 24 tickets and bought the whole set. Wow.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Somebody else I know bought the entire set as well.
I know more people than normal bought this entire set because it was just so good. I bought 3.
Really
I haven't actually spent a Black Lion ticket in a long time, and I bought 3 of them. They were just so good.
I had 3 saved up, and I was like, I want my Necro, even though I didn't really love the Warhorn. Because it's
I thought the Warhorn was great.
But, Scepter Dagger, Scepter Warhorn for the Necro, so I ended up getting those 3. It's a good set.
They're good, but I never really buy or use Black Lion weapons at all. I think the only one I use is the Chaos Dagger.
I get to the point where I have so many skins, it's like I can't use them all. I can't use the ones I want because there's so many.
Yeah. That's why I kind of stick to legendaries or ones that are from in-game, achievements or that kind of thing. Just it's a limitation I put on myself so I don't do the same thing where it's saturated as hell, and it lets me keep it kind of strict.
I didn't know that there was lore to say that these are fake Bloodstone that Evan had like made fake Bloodstone.
That's so cool.
I thought they were real Bloodstones, so it's like, yes, I'm gonna be corrupted. I love it. And someone's like, no, it's fake Bloodstone. It says so on like the Guild Wars 2 page, and I'm like, oh. Because having real Bloodstone weapons would be like too dangerous or whatever.
Cheap Bloodstone knockoffs.
Yeah, his cheap knockoffs he's charging full price for, that jerk. Timekeeper is a great set, guy.
Timekeeper is very good, especially for Chronomancer. It looks really, really good. Same with the Dominator ones as well, and Tormented. I still use the Tormented staff on my Mesmer. That's the only Black Lion weapon I use properly. The Chaos one I'm just using to like get a dagger that's cool.
Bootleg Bloodstone weapons. That's right.
That's right. Well, guys, I have to get going. So, thank you all for joining us. Today. Thank you so much. Lots of good discussion. Thank you guys for being available to do a GuildGab.
Yeah, of course. I missed it. I missed you guys. And
I missed it too.
The chat too. It's been really cool. And I'm so glad Alex wasn't here.
Poor Alex.
I'm joking. He's a rock star. He has no time for us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Us peasants.
He's too famous for us now. So, all right. So, depending on what we get next week, maybe there will be a show next week. Maybe not, but definitely we'll schedule one for the week of September 20th after we've played the episode. Right. So, yes. So then for sure. So, thank you guys so much for watching. My Witcher stream that I originally had scheduled for tonight is just going to start whenever. I'm actually going to go to my mother-in-law's and eat dinner, and so that'll start whenever I get back. All right?
Cool.
All right.
All right, bye, guys. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in.